That's my fault. All right. Well, hey, welcome to our workshop. Amos and I are super excited to get you guys this information. The thing of it is that fitness and life, it can be difficult. And so if we can get you some practical tips to implement into your life, we can make it a whole heck of a lot easier. And so Amos has an awesome talk that'll be coming up next. And I am going to be talking to you guys today about how to fit fitness into your everyday life. And so I've got a little sheet that you guys can take notes on and follow along with. 6 basically topics that we're going to go over. And first, I want to give you guys just a real quick, brief background about who I am and why in the heck what I say matters. And so, my name is CJ Wehrkamp. I own Fit Body Boot Camp and opened this gym in 2015. When I opened the gym, I had a whopping 15 clients after my first month. So we were not paying the bills. Very nerve-wracking, but here's the deal. When I was opening the gym, I had a lot of people tell me, why don't you just go work at Great Life or work at one of the other gyms in town that are already established, already making it, and get a guaranteed paycheck. The thing of it is my whole life I had a guaranteed paycheck. But I didn't want a guaranteed paycheck. What I wanted is to be guaranteed that my passion could be poured into the people. And so when we opened Fit Body Boot Camp, that's what I did. I did not have the money to compete in advertising. I did not have the money to even complete the whole build out how I wanted it to. We had like 1 rack of weights. We had like maybe 5 only boxes, and we just made it work. And here we are. May 11th will be 4 years. We have over 300 clients now, and it's amazing. We have an awesome team, and we've helped hundreds of people lose hundreds of pounds. And so what we have found with that is that you can work out anywhere, but unless you have accountability, unless you have somebody that truly cares about you, and unless you have somebody that will guide you through the journey, you're not going to get the results that you deserve. And so today we're going to talk about some different tips that you can implement into your life to make sure that you are held accountable, to make sure that you find out how you can hold yourself more accountable and how you can use every area of life as motivation or as your own gym in life. And so we're going to go over the sheet. The first kind of topic, the first bullet point is we're going to talk about the rise of the common day plague. And plagues are awful. And so I think that the common day plague, the one that we all are fighting and struggling with, is this plague of being busy, right? The 4-letter word busy has consumed our lives and totally taken away our ability to achieve the things that we desire, to achieve the things that we deserve. And it's because we say yes to way too many things and we take on way too much because we think that when we say yes, we're helping more people. But in all reality, we're not helping anyone. And so that's an awesome point to kind of leave that right there because I know Amos's talk has a ton more very awesome information on that. So, David, you got a live stream going back there?
Help me out, brother.
You're my man. I love it. And so the thing of it is that I need you guys to realize there is another answer other than yes, and that is no. And when you say no, it allows, so we're talking about how to fit fitness into your life. If you can say no to some things, you're not going to need to try that hard to fit it in because you're going to have a lot more time to fit it in. So you need to be very comfortable and get comfortable, and it can be awkward. It can feel maybe not normal for yourself, but you need to learn to say no. You have got to. Because when you do that, it frees up so much time and it frees up so much mental ability to focus on yourself. So we're going to take that busy and we're going to get rid of it because we're all busy. So if we can understand that we're all busy, like if you're busy, that doesn't make you special. I feel like we almost make that like as an entitlement. Like, oh, I'm busy. Like, I would, but I'm busy. Oh, cool, me too. Like, we're all busy, right? Like, I don't care that you're busy. Fit it in. Like, it's not an excuse. That's just the way life is. And I really do believe that years ago, we weren't as busy. but everything is instant now, like Siri, instant. You can literally everything you want to get, instant results. But the one thing that doesn't come instant is your health and fitness success, your business success, your career success, your success in relationships, anything that, so think about it this way. Anything that matters will never become instant. Anything that doesn't matter, there's a Siri for that, or an Alexa for that. Like, who cares what the temperature is outside? But if you want to know instantly, Alexa can tell you, right? Alexa can't tell you what your spouse is thinking. Alexa can't tell you that. You have to work at it. Going on to number 2, you become what you consume. And I put that on there and I asked a couple people, like, if I put that on there, what are you going to think about? Instantly, everyone said, well, what you eat. Like, you are what you eat, right? Like, we hear it all the time, you are what you eat. But let's reframe our mind and think about, you are way more than just what you eat. You are who you hang around with. You are the type of music you listen to. You are the type of books you read. Don't read the books. The type of books you read. Like, that's who you are. And so if you want to become a different person, and if you want to fit fitness into your life, instead of where can I fit it in, what are some things I can eliminate? What are some things I need to get rid of so that I become what I consume? If I want to be a healthy and fit person, would it make more sense to seek out healthy and fit friends? Or would it make more sense to continue hanging out with my bar hopping, beer drinking buddies? Probably makes more sense to, and maybe not tell them like we're not hanging out anymore, but limit how much you hang out with that group of people. I can tell you this, I've been married twice. I recommend just doing it right the first time. But the thing of it is that there's like these people that stand up in your wedding and they're supposed to mean like something significant to you. I don't hang out with any of those people anymore. I was in a much different place. I loved boozing. I loved drinking. But you know what I didn't like? I didn't like when I was driving down the road and my man boobs would bounce every time I hit a bump. Like, that's just the truth, right? So I was like, I gotta do something about this, right? I'm glad you guys laughed. It wasn't funny in the time, it's funny now. But you have to do something about it. You have to make a change. And so a mentor of mine said it best. His name is Bedros. He started FitBody. But you have to cut the crabs. So his story goes this way. And if you haven't heard his story, I'm going to tell it to you. His story goes this way. He was walking down Bayside, and he seen this bucket. And there was a crab fisherman, and he would catch a crab, and he'd throw it in the bucket. And he was walking with his wife, and as he's watching this crab fisherman totally forget about his bucket and just going, and I don't even know how you catch a crab, but however you catch a crab, that's what they were doing. And he'd throw it in the bucket, and all of a sudden he looks at his wife, and he's like, that crab's going to escape. And he goes over to the guy and says, I see you working so hard to catch these crabs. You might want to put a lid on top of that bucket because your crabs are going to get out and they're going to run away. And the crab fisherman says, no, watch what happens next. And as that crab is reaching for the top and he's almost ready to escape, the crabs at the bottom of the bucket, they grab onto that crab's leg and they pull him down. And they shove him to the bottom and they keep each other in their bucket. And they start pulling themselves down and they never let any of the other crabs escape. And so the thing that we need to do is we need to cut the crabs out of our lives. Who in your life is not letting you succeed? Who in your life is not letting you reach your full potential? So I want you to take a couple seconds right now and I want you to think about it. Who in your life is holding you down? And the cool thing is they're not going to read your notes. So unless they're sitting next to you, like if it's the person next to you, don't write their name down. Like, you might not be friends when you leave. But write their name down and figure out, like, how can I maybe remove myself from that group of people? How can I eliminate that negative in my life, right? What you speak, what you think about, what you read, what you watch. Like, I don't watch the news. I don't know what's going on in the world because, like, me personally, I can't do anything about it. And there's so much negative in the news. Like, everything's negative. Like, everywhere you look, all the newest articles, breaking news, it's all negative stuff. And it doesn't make me feel any better about myself. So I read books. I used to hate reading. I read books on how to become better. And those will help you find areas that you can fit fitness into your life. Because now it just becomes as a habit. You're not even thinking about it. It's just what you do. It's your mindset. It's what you think about. What you think about is what you become. So start thinking about positive actions. Think about those people that are succeeding in life. Think about those people that are really doing amazing things. And then think to yourself, how can I get around that group of people more? How can I put that group of people as my sphere of people that I hang out with? And at times it can seem difficult, and maybe in the beginning it will be difficult, but when you start doing it on the daily, it just becomes natural. So I want you guys to, like I said, write down the crabs that you need to eliminate, but now I want you to take a second, write down a name or two of someone that's just like doing amazing things that you would love to connect with. And maybe you haven't, but you just see them doing awesome stuff. So think about one or two people and write their name down of that's someone that I should connect with. Like Amos and I don't know if Amos feels this way, but I heard his name and knew about what he was doing and knew that he was an awesome guy way before we ever connected. Like I knew he was doing some great things. I've heard about him. I knew that he had passion. But then when all of a sudden him and I connected, like we only connected less than a month, maybe a month ago. And now we're doing this and helping other people, and it's amazing. Like the passion that he has, like I want to surround myself with people like that, right? So write that down. Moving on to number 3. I have on there, you must become the doctor. When I say this, when you have a doctor's appointment, it can be months, it can be weeks out. You take time off of work, you rearrange who's going to watch your kids, you do whatever you need to do to make that appointment, and guarantee that appointment is usually not when you're like not working. It's usually right in the middle of the day or when it works for them, not you. But somehow they expect you to be there, and they expect you to be there early, and they expect you to check in, and they expect you to not care that they show up late. So if a doctor can do that, and they can somehow hold you to these higher standards, why can't we or you hold yourself to a higher standard? You have got to become as important as a doctor in your own life. You are in control of your own life, and if you're willing to take time off of work, if you're willing to rearrange your whole entire schedule just because a doctor said so, why are you not willing to do it for yourself? How many times have you not made time for yourself because you don't view yourself as important as a doctor? So you must become the doctor in your life. When you set an appointment to go to the gym, it is not just something you can push off. That's an appointment with your health, with your destiny, with your future. If you push off the appointment at the gym, you're pushing off your health. You're pushing off being able to live a life that you deserve to live. You have to view those appointments as important as doctor appointments. And you have to rearrange whatever you need to rearrange to get there. Same with meal prepping. Holy smokes, that is so easy. Well, I'll just do it throughout the week. And then the week comes and you don't do it. You don't find the time. You don't put in the time. And next thing you know, it's another week by and you did nothing with your nutrition. You've got to become that important, you guys. Your health matters. Your results, they are basically only going to be reached when you view them as important. And so that's why you need to create a huge, massive why. Why are you doing this? Hello, what's up, buddy? Why are you doing this? What matters? Because at the end of the day, like I always say that to a lot of our clients when we're having one-on-one meetings, like, what does it matter if you lose the weight? Like, I don't care if you lose the weight. I think you're fine the way you are. Like, so what does it really matter? So dig deeper. Figure out why it matters. And I'm telling you guys, if when you think about your goals and you think about what it is that you're working towards, if the thought of not achieving it doesn't almost bring you to tears, give up on it. Like, screw it. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter enough to almost bring you to tears if you don't reach it, then you don't have a deep enough why. You got to dig a little deeper. if I don't succeed in my business, and I know that my family is going to struggle a little bit, and my kids aren't going to have the life that I want to provide for them, and we're not going to be able to do the things that I think are important to my family, if that doesn't drive me to get up every day and put in the work to make sure that we keep moving this thing in the right direction, then I need to think a little deeper and make sure I have a big enough why to push me through. Because if you have that thought of I'm going to skip the gym or I'm going to skip the whatever it is that you're going to skip, but that why pops up and you have such a vivid reason as to why you're doing it, I guarantee you, whatever it is that you were going to do instead of it, you'll find a way to make it work to get here, to get to the gym, to prep your food. And that's how you're going to become the person that people look up to. You have to make sure that when you tell yourself something, or when you say you're going to do something, you do it. Because when you tell yourself that you're going to do something and you don't, you're breaking that promise to yourself. And so when you tell yourself you're going to do something, do it, and then do it again, and then make sure that you stop breaking those promises that you make to yourself. Because the only way that you're ever going to get good, and maybe you're not good at it right now. Maybe you're like really bad at it. Right now, maybe you have told yourself that you're going to do something and it's been years or it's been months or whatever it's been and you just haven't taken action on it. So that might seem like very difficult. How am I going to all of a sudden now tell myself I'm going to do something and then do it? Like, it might take baby steps. But when you can stack up those baby steps, put in the repetition, it's the same thing as working out. Like, to get results, you got to put in the work, not just one day, but multiple days. So when you start keeping those promises to yourself, you're going to start getting really good at making these promises to yourself and then keeping them. And then two, like, think about when you, I don't know, how many of you guys have kids in here? Okay, for those of you that don't have kids, when you make a promise with your kid, and for those of you that do, I'm sure you can relate, and then life gets busy because it does, but then all of a sudden your kid comes up to you and looks at you and says, but Daddy, like, you said you'd take us to the park. There's a pull. That promise that you made to this little, like, they don't get it. You told them you're going to do something with them. You told them you're going to do this. And those big eyes looking at you like, that's a promise you don't want to break. That's the type of pull you need when you make a promise to yourself. Like, you're letting down your future self. So hold your promises up. Number 4, realize that you always have options. How many of you guys have desk jobs? Somewhat. How many of you guys feel like fitting in exercise, like that takes a lot of work to figure out where I'm going to fit in exercise? And be honest, it's okay. The cool thing of it is that most of you guys, if not all of you guys, do fit it in somewhere, so that's amazing. So good job on that. But realize that a gym is not the only place you can exercise, and there's always options when you go out to eat. I feel that a lot of times when you go out to eat, somewhere in our brain, there's this like mental block. We forget that there's healthy stuff on the menu. Like there is, I promise, almost every place, like contrary to what you may believe, you can find some healthy things at McDonald's. Like, it's not a lot, it is not a lot, but it's possible. So when you're at a restaurant, why is it that all of a sudden this mental block hits and the options seem gone? And now all we can order is the deep fat, fried, greasy crap that makes us feel good in the instant, but then when we look in the mirror, like, feel awful. Your future self will thank you when you can remember you have options. You have options as to how close you park to the front door. If you don't have time to get a workout in, well, at least get some extra steps in and park in the back. If you're in an office setting and you have those little IM deals on your computer where you can just quickly reply to the person in the next cubicle or down the hallway, you can also get up and walk and talk to that person. Like, you don't have to just type the keys. This burns a lot less calories than walking. So get up and walk and talk to them. You don't have to take the elevator to the next level. There are steps. People do take them. You don't have to always drive. You can ride a bike. You can walk. You can do many, many things that will increase your activity level. And it's crazy, but these little things add up. They all burn calories. And at the end of the day, in order to get fitness results, the main thing that matters is that you are burning more calories than you are consuming. So if right now you're not really getting a lot of results, I want you to think to yourself, how can I burn more calories? Because you can, like I said, park at the back of a parking lot, ride a bike. Instead of going to a movie, maybe you and your family or you and your friends, you love going to movies. Maybe go bowling. Getting up, walking to the bowling alley, throwing a bowling ball, that burns calories. Whereas sitting in a movie theater, eating popcorn and candy does not. That adds calories. Does it add, take away? So what can you guys do that's going to be active? And the thing of it is, back to cutting the crabs and getting around more like-minded people. When you're around more like-minded people that enjoy to do these things, it becomes way easier because now you have this whole pocketbook of friends that you can call. Like, hey, I want to go for a walk. Do you? Oh, yeah, because I'm trying to be active as well. But when your pocketbook and address book of friends right now are the ones that enjoy drinking or are the ones that enjoy the bar or the ones that enjoy all the unhealthy stuff. And the thing of it is, you guys, when you decide to make a health and fitness change or transformation or start this thing, the thing that you don't understand is that you are deciding that, not your friends. And so a lot of times we can just think and hope that because I decided I'm going to make this change, they're going to support me. And in an awesome world, that would be great. But unfortunately, we don't even live in a world where we know how to support that. How do I support this person? If I haven't made the decision right now that I want to live healthy and I want to live fit, I don't know how to support Jess on her journey. I don't know what she needs. I think that if she decides that, and then she comes over for dinner to my house, and we're having cake, I think I'm supporting her by telling her it's okay if you have this cake because you've been doing really good. I think that I'm helping her because I said you're doing good. Be easy on yourself, have this cake. Good job. That's what I think is helping. And so that's really what your friends are thinking. Because you haven't taken the time to educate your audience on how they can help you. When's the last time that you had a legitimate conversation with a close friend and legitimately told them, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, these are the results I want to get, and this is how you can help? Do you tell your friends, do you tell your sphere of people what they can do to help? And if you don't, you can't expect them to know what to do. We're not taught that. There's nowhere that we're hey, if a friend starts a fitness journey, you should really help them by not offering them the crappy food. You should really help them by telling them it is okay to go out with you and it's okay if they just have water and not the drinks. Because that's the same thing too. Oh, you don't ever go out anymore, have another drink. That doesn't help us reach our goals. But if you tell them here's the deal, I really want help. I want you when we're out to not offer me the drink. I want you, when we're out, to be my support. Tell me it's okay. And if they're not, guess what? They're the crabs. We got to eliminate them. Because if they're not willing to help you, what are they doing in your circle? What are you doing with them? When you view yourself of where you want to be in a year, is that person going to get you there? And if they're not going to get you there, done with them. I don't know, that sounds harsh. That sounds brutal. You're just done with them? Yes. You're done with them. Bye. Moving on. I've got goals. I've got dreams. I've got aspirations. I want to get there, and you're not helping me. Pew. Bye. I get rid of them. And we don't do that a lot. We tend to I don't want to be mean. Well, then you're going to suffer. Your results are going to suffer. You're not going to get to where you want to go. You have to let them know. And if they're not willing to help you, you have to say bye-bye. And hang out with them on very few limited occasions. That's just the way it is. Another thing that is kind of fun to do is maybe there's this person at work that like always annoys you. Like something they do just bugs the piss out of you. Like, right, we got those people. And it's like, oh my gosh. And it stresses us out. You can like turn life into a game, right? So when Sally Joe's sitting over there and every time she makes that big sigh, shut up, Sally. Like, that's your cue, drink more water. Like, use that as a cue. Like, it sounds goofy, but I swear when you can turn life into a game, when you can turn these goofy little things into motivation, like it sounds goofy, right? But wouldn't that be a good reminder? Because there's all these things that like pull up these mental thoughts. And instead of having the thought of like, I'm gonna punch her in the freaking face, like have a thought of, oh, I should drink more water. Like, that sounds stupid, right? It sounds crazy, like, CJ, you're dumb. But no, I'm serious. Like, that will help you. And maybe when they're just clicking their pen nonstop, like, and you get a new water bottle and you drink it. Like, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's goofy, but it works. You have to like create these stupid, and like that's how it changes. Like that's how you make a change. You create like, in order to be successful, you got to be a little weird. Like that's just all there is to it. There's got to be something a little different than than everyone else. Because let's be honest, the majority of people are not reaching their health and fitness goals. The majority of people are not staying married. The majority of people are not crushing it in business. The majority of people are living mediocre, average lives that, let's be honest, nobody wants that. But we don't know how to get over the line and create the life of our dreams. And it's because we're all a little uncomfortable being unique. We're all a little bit uncomfortable being who God created us to be. Because we've been created to be different. You and you and you've got different abilities than I do. So what you need to do is learn where you excel and use those to your strengths. Learn where you don't excel and find people that do excel in those areas and invite them into your circle. And then build each other up. David might have a very different set of skills than I do, but together we can help each other become better faster. There's been some struggles that maybe you've been through or you've been through that I haven't. I can learn from your struggles and not have to go through them. You can learn from my struggles and I have to go through the ones that I've went through, and together we can reach our goal even quicker. Does that make sense? Eliminating the crabs and finding people that truly care about you, for who you are, and want you to succeed. And here's a really quick way to learn if somebody should be in your circle or maybe out of your circle. If you tell them what your goals, what your aspirations, what your dreams are, if the response is encouragement and they hope you succeed and they want you to do well, like that's a well-intended person. But if a person says like, that's gonna be really tough, I don't know if you're gonna be able to do it, like good luck, that's not been done before. Those people, they're on the outside. Pew, get them out, right? I need to take a drink, hold on. We take this pause. All right, number 5. We're gonna learn to stack success. This is one of my favorite ones as of recent because it resonates really well with me, because we don't think about what it takes to truly get success. We think about the people that are successful, and we always wonder, like, how do they do it? They worked really hard. They didn't give up when the going got tough. They celebrated the little wins. And so I use this story because it's very easy to understand. When someone tells you that they've lost 50 or 100 pounds or 589 pounds like Erica, like you're really excited for that person. And you're like, wow, like that's amazing, right? But when a person tells you they lost 1 or 2 pounds this week, that's not very impressive. That's like, okay, good job. I know a lot of people that can lose 1 or 2 pounds. But here's the deal. If you lose 1 or 2 pounds every week for 52 weeks, you're that person telling the story, I lost 50 or 100 pounds. But we don't think about that. All we think about is the 1 or the 2 pound loss, and we like brush it off like it's not a big deal. That's a huge deal. Celebrate that deal. And when you can learn to celebrate and stack your successes and then do it again, then you can be the person telling that story. And so I like to ask this question, and I want you guys to put just a second or two thought into it. What story do you want to be telling in 1 year? From right now, it is March 23rd. What is the story that you want to be telling March 23rd, 2020? Think about it. Take a second or two. Realistically, and maybe even not realistically, maybe blow it out of the water. Like maybe it's so unrealistic, but you know what? That's what you would love to be telling in a year. Write that story down. Write what it sounds like. What are you telling the person? I'm having a conversation with you. And I'm saying, so how's life? I'm married. I have this house. I have this car. Whatever it is, my kids do this. Like, what is that story? And if that is the story that you truly want to tell in a year from now, what do you got to do today? What do you have to do today to get there? Because I know in 1 year from now, I want to be telling all of you guys this story, that when you become a member at Fit Body Bootcamp, you now have the option to go to our central location, our east location, or our west location. I want you guys to be able to hear that my wife and I are out of all of our debt. I'm going to what kind of debt it is, but I'd love to tell that story. So if that's the story that I want to tell, what do I got to do? I would love to say I have X amount in my savings account. Okay, if I want to get X amount in my savings account, if I want to lose X amount of pounds by this, reverse engineer it. How many dollars do you have to save? How many pounds do you have to lose? How many workouts do you need to get? Like, where do you need to be? What do you need to do today? Who do you need to be surrounded by? What do you need to get rid of so that that can be the story that you want to tell? And if you're not willing to do it, if you're not willing to put in that work today, then you have to be okay with not telling that story. But if you're not okay with not telling that story and you want to be able to tell that story, then you must put in the work today. And tomorrow, and the next day. Your goals don't take days off. What you want to achieve in life will not happen unless you put one foot in front of the other foot today. And somewhere along the lines too, like we have been taught, like don't celebrate the little successes. But you need to. You need to celebrate every pound lost. You need to celebrate every day that you don't drink. You need to celebrate every day that you don't eat fast food. You need to celebrate every day that you get all your water in. You need to celebrate every day that you do work out. Like those are the little things that when you start celebrating those and you get excited, like it's fun to like have a celebration, right? Does anyone like ever go to like a celebration and like it just like, I mean, some people throw really bad parties, but it's fun to celebrate and it's fun to have fun. So have fun with the little successes. Because when you can learn to have fun, like then you want to have fun again. And I know one thing that's worked for a lot of people is like, how can you reward yourself with rewards that aren't going to push you the wrong way? So many people reward themselves with like food or drinks or stuff that is pushing them further away from their fitness goals. So reward yourself with ladies getting your nails done. Men getting your nails done. If that's your thing. I don't know, whatever. Like reward yourself with things that work. Adrian, that's not your thing? No, the shellac, you don't like that? Like just clear. If you get the clear shellac, it doesn't look like you have your nails done. I actually did that for my wife when I was going to ask her to marry me. I was like, let's go get our nails done, babe. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I've never had a manicure, so I want to have one done and see what it feels like. And she's like, because I know that when a gal gets a ring and we take a picture of their hand, they want their nails to look good. I was told that somewhere. So I was like, all right, babe, let's go get our nails done. She's like, what? And they're like, what color do you want? I'm like, I don't want a color. What's my options? They're like, well, you can get this clear shellac or clear whatever. So that's what I got. My nails, they looked good. They were clear, and I have all these little hangnails. I didn't have those then. So I maybe should go back and get another one. But do something that's not going to push you away from your fitness goals. Do you see what I mean? You got to be a little weird if you want to be successful. And maybe you might not think I'm successful, but I feel successful. And I feel a little weird at times too. So, the main thing though is do realize that 1 to 2 pounds a week adds up to 50 to 100 pounds a year. Like that's why we're here. We want fitness success. We want health success. We want to reach our fitness goals. Understand that. So if you want to be that person that's telling that story that you lost 50 pounds, how am I going to lose 1 pound this week? I don't care how you're going to get to 50 pounds. That to me doesn't matter, because what you're going to do to get there is lose 1 pound this week. But then you're going to do that again. And success is really boring. Like it's doing the same thing over and over again that's working. Like it's boring. And it's simple. Like being healthy and living a fit life is super simple. It's not easy, but it's super simple. Eat healthy, drink water, work out. Nailed it. Like, does that sound that hard? Right? I mean, that's not hard. You tell me, all I gotta do is eat healthy food, drink my water, and go to the gym. I'll get results. Yes. But somewhere in this busy life that we live, we lose sight of that. We forget that we have those options. We forget that we can order vegetables at a restaurant. Like, they don't just serve fries. I promise.
Except jail beers.
Don't go there. Sorry, JL Beers, you have a great business. This is live. We gotta support the locals. Are they local? I don't even know.
Maybe we'll put veggies on the menu.
Put veggies bring your own veggies.
I've done that.
I knew it. Right. Yeah. Like I got a microwave there. If you bring like a steamer bag, could you steam these, please? Like that's weird, right? But you're gonna get some results. Like, hey, could I get a burger, hold the bun, extra lettuce, pickles, and could you steam these for me? You have to be willing to be weird. This is a concept that I thought about a while ago, and I just want to bring it up right now. Think about a child, okay? This little kid, they don't care about anything about getting what they want. That's like they're gonna do whatever it takes to get what they want. Kelly, you in the daycare world, I mean, do you ever see this happen? Okay? You're in the middle of the grocery store. You're trying to compose yourself as a normal family. I promise we're normal. We shop normal, we buy normal foods, and then all of a sudden this little kid's doing its thing on the ground, it's kicking its feet and it's screaming, and that's normal, right? No, it's not. But here's the deal, okay? That kid doesn't care what they look like. They're doing whatever it takes to get what they want. But then somewhere in life, we're told, like, you can't do that. Okay, right, we can't do that. You shouldn't. But you have to be willing to look a little odd, to be the odd one, to be the person that doesn't order the drink, to be the person that doesn't order the appetizer that's all fried. You have to be willing to look a little different, is what I'm getting at. That child doesn't care what they look like, they're going to go after it, right? Like, I want that toy, I want that food, I want whatever it is. Are you willing to look a little different? Are you willing to change up your routine? So in 2017, I decided I wasn't going to drink anymore. I was just going to give it up, and I used to be the one that when we went out to drink, like I drank the most. I started drinking the fastest. I took the most shots. I was the most drunk, and I was just having a party. Like like Kelly knows my family. And it was, like, I'm nuts. Like, let's throw a rager. And if you guys all want to just hang out and casually drink, that's fine. I'll be doing my own rager right here. Okay, and if you want to get on my level, just come take a shot with me. That's who I was. And so how in the heck do you go from that to I'm not going to drink anymore? It was really tough. I had to be willing to look a little different. Like now I'm going to go hang out with these people, but I'm not going to order a drink. Well, CJ, you're not going to be fun anymore. And so that relates to your health and fitness journey too. If you're that person that normally eats pizza with all your friends many nights of the week, and now you're not, like that's odd, that's different. You have to be willing to look a little different. You have to be willing to give up your norm, because right now your norm is not getting you what you want. Your norm is not producing the results that you want. So in order to get the results that you want, you have to change it up, switch it up. Be okay with being a little different. Let's move on to our last point. Understand that nothing happens until something happens. That sounds super like, well, duh. But so many people will just collect information. They will watch the latest podcast. They will listen to the most recent news. They will find the best article on health and fitness. They'll find the most new cutting edge technology to lose weight. And they know it, but they don't do anything with it. I am not calling any specific person out at all, but I have met with a ton of people, and we talk, and we say stuff, and we do stuff, and we have the most great talks where we have such an awesome plan of attack. We are going to just crush it. But then there's no action taken. So instead of like trying to change up everything, like pick one thing. And so what I want you guys to do is I want you to pick one thing. And we've got like 15-ish minutes here. We're going to take some time and we're going to figure out what that one thing is that we're going to take away from this. Because I've given you some different ideas. Some of them are goofy, some of them might have been great. But if Sally Joe and her pen clicking, or in her sighing, in her heavy breathing, if that could like trigger you to do something motivating and do something that's going to push you in the right direction rather than the wrong direction, if that could be the one thing that you take away, like then you're moving in the right direction. But so many times we get all this information and there's good ideas and there's stuff that really hits home with us, but then we don't do anything with it. And then 1 month, 3 months, 6 months down the road, we're the exact same person that we were. And I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, but doing one thing is a whole heck of a lot easier than doing 10 things. And so maybe like meal prepping. So I said this, we're starting our a 28-day reset on Monday. And I was talking with them, and I was telling them that if you have time to come to the gym, like we run half-hour sessions here. By the time you leave your house or leave work or whatever, come do your workout, whatever, change, go back to wherever you were, it's an hour out of your day. If you have time to come here 6 days a week, but you don't have time to get your food right, your priorities are messed up. Because I'd rather see you here 3 times a week, and then those other 3 hours of the week, there's 3 hours. I'd rather you prep your food. I'd rather you take time knowing what the heck you're doing with your food. Because you can work out here 7 days a week. We're not open on Sunday, but you have to come a double. 1 day a double. You could work out here 7 times a week. But if you're not eating right, then like it's not going to work. So understand that 6 hours of the week working out does nothing when you eat crappy. You will get more results working out 3 hours a week and eating correctly than you will without eating properly. So maybe that's you. Maybe you're the person that can always make it to the gym, but you never have your food right. you never are ready to go with your food. Okay? Quit going to the gym so much. Like, I don't care how much weight you lift. I don't care how many burpees you do. If you keep eating crap, you remain the same. So quit, stop. And the thing of it is, it's easier to just walk through this door and have us tell you what to do than it is to pull out a paper and make some food. So you do the easier thing. Well, then just be fine with your results and quit wanting more for yourself. Because if you're only choosing the easy things, you're not going to get to that next level. You have to be willing to do some hard work. Right? You got to be willing to prep your food. Maybe you're really good at food prepping and you eat good food, but you have no idea how to work out or where to start to what to do. Like, find somebody, go to somebody that knows what they're doing. Like, find those people in your life that can help you in the areas that you're struggling. Do you guys all, if you think about it, do you know the areas that you struggle with? Or do you find yourself, like, I have no idea why I can't get results? If you really think about it, do you know what the things are that are holding you back? Or do you feel completely like you're doing everything perfect, but the results don't happen?
No, you know.
Most of the time, people know. There's a very rare case of people where there's some different messed up medical stuff going on where sometimes it feels like you're doing everything right, but then it can be the stress. So how do you eliminate the stress? Right? So I want you guys to really know that nothing happens until you do just one thing. Just do one thing. Like when someone starts here, we've realized that we almost ask like too much of them. Like, get all your water in every day, get to the gym every day, eat healthy every day, and here's this new app you need to download, and make sure you reserve your sessions, and make sure that these are the coaches that you can talk to, and oh, by the way, we do these other things called GSD where you can meet with the coach, and oh, we've also got Open Gym and Coach Mick. All right, I give up. Like, there's too much overload. And so really, what we've broken it down to is nothing happens unless they make it 3 times a week. Like, that's goal 1. Get to the gym 3 days a week. If we can get you coming 3 days a week, then we can help you with the rest. But if we can't even get you here 3 days a week, then we're not helping you. So we got to break it down into steps. So if the big goal, like how many pounds do you guys want to lose in the next 3 months? You put that goal right here, up top. And then you create a step going down, and 3 to 4 steps up to that goal. Okay? The thing that you need to understand about your goal is that that is an outcome goal. You have no control over this goal. You have no control over actually losing 10, 15, 20 pounds. You can't control that. All you can control is what you should be doing that should warrant that goal. And so what you have control over is what you drink. What you have control over is what you eat. What you have control over is how many days a week do you work out. Those are things you have control over. Because even if you have a crazy, crazy day and you can't get to the gym, you can still work out at home or get something that's active, do something. So those are the things that you can control. So I also want you to think about this too. The last thing that I want you to think about is what's the one thing that you're going to do? Okay, that's the first thing I want you to think about. What's one thing I'm going to do? One thing. Maybe it's one person I'm going to connect with. Maybe it's one person I'm going to eliminate out of my life. Maybe it's one step towards it by drinking enough water. Like whatever that one thing is, start there. The second thing I want you to think about, what are the things that I actually have control over that I'm not controlling? Because when you can control those things, that's how you'll fit fitness into your everyday life. What are the things? Think about it. Write it down. What are the things that you have control over that you're not controlling? Because there's not a lot of things that we do control. There's a lot of things that just happen to us in life. But if we have those 2 to 3 things that we 100% have control over, there is nobody making me drink drinks that are making me fat. There is nobody making me drink sugar, coffees every day, going through the coffee drive-thru and getting the extra creamer. Nobody's making you do that. So if you have control over that, what are you doing letting yourself fail by consuming that? What are the foods you're putting in your mouth? What are the music you're listening to? What are the books you're reading to? Those are things you control. So I want you to think about what are the things that I have control over that I am not controlling. And I want you guys to know that you have what it takes to succeed. You're very capable of succeeding. There are people that have the tools, that have the resources that will help you succeed in life. And these people in this room today, you guys all have one thing in common. You want more for your life. If you weren't here, you'd be okay with where you're at, but you all want to get to the next level. You all want a little more out of life. So when we wrap up today, I want connections to be made. You may have came here with someone. I want you to leave here knowing one person that you didn't know. I give you permission to be awkward at the end of our talk, at the end of Amos. I'm giving you permission to be awkward and say, "Hi, Bernadette, I'm CJ. I've never met you before." Do that. Meet one person, because those people are going to be the people that can help you become better in life. All right, you guys, Amos is going to talk with you and make sure that you guys understand how to take care of yourselves so you can take care of others. Thank you, guys.
Sweet. I'm going to hand out some papers. I'm not going to say don't write down on them. I'm going to say please write, every single one of you, because you're going to get so much more out of it if you do.
Hey, what's going on, guys? If you have any questions or comments on the live video here, you can comment on here, and we will get around to answering them. Maggie, I definitely get that, girl. She says it's hard to be the person that doesn't order the drink because then everyone thinks you're pregnant. Awesome, you guys. All right, Amos is getting ready to come on here and help us out. Maybe, can you post, Amos, do you know, can you post sheets or files on pages?
Yeah.
You can?
Yeah.
So maybe we'll post your sheet, because some people I'm sure are going to wonder what the heck this is, or get the notes. Reach out to us later if you want the handouts. We'll get them to you somehow. That's an issue. I'll fix it.
What? Do you get one? Awesome. I'll wait just a minute to get started since some people went to the restroom, but
Yeah, they're waiting.
thank you for coming. No toilet paper?
I just threw something in there. I don't know. There's like a whole bunch of women in there. I can't go in there. I walked in, my eyes closed, like, kind of idea. I really did.
There are doors within the bathroom.
It's so weird. I don't want to hang out there while
We usually shut it down.
That's the thing you took away from that. I love it. You have to be different to be successful. Ready, dude?
What are some of the takeaways that you had from CJ's talk as we're waiting?
Be addicted to taking massive action instead of being addicted to information overload.
Absolutely, and part of addiction is pleasure and satisfaction. So you actually can get to a point where you're addicted to it because it's pleasurable and you're getting those rewards. So that's a good point. Thank you.
Stepping out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, step out of your comfort zone. I'll talk about that a little bit today as well, like CJ did. Change is uncomfortable. We definitely all know that. So thank you so much for giving me your time, CJ your time, and coming out. Time is very valuable, and so we really appreciate that. So my name is Amos Buelow. I'm a health and life coach here in Sioux Falls and online as well. Maybe some of you know of me. I know a couple of you in here. And the reason I got into this, since CJ gave some backstory, the reason I got into this is because I used to work at gyms a lot, personal trainer, strength conditioning coach, coaching kids, stuff like that. All great jobs, but what I would see is people would come in to the gym, maybe be there for 1 month to a year, maybe even 2 years, and then fall back into a rut, go back to where they were, start another gym, started going again, and I could help with the fitness, and tons of different gyms can help with the fitness. If you are looking for somewhere, this is a great place, but it's the motivation and the accountability that we need to work on. If that's not there, then we're just going to stay in this cycle and this rut of going back to where we are. So that's why I became a health and life coach. Besides my dad being a pastor, my brothers, I love the one-on-one interaction, really talking about beliefs and mindset and where that comes from. A lot of people put on a good face, but there's a lot more going on that we don't like to talk about. So being an outlet for those people. But today we're going to talk about the motivation, the accountability, how to actually get ourselves to follow through when it is simple, and when we do want to make it happen. It seems like we want to make it happen, but we can't actually do it. So before I get into it, that's a little bit who I am. Right away, if you have a pen, or grab a pen, and we're going to start with this, the side of the handout that's not the wheel. So top 5 priorities. I want you to write those down right now. It doesn't have to be specific to fitness or anything like that. It's your whole life. What are your priorities? Faith, family, health, food, kids, dog. You too, Kels. That's my wife, by the way, so she has to do it too.
She's to do it too.
Does everyone have a pen? These sheets. Yeah, I do want all of you to do this. So when you come to workshops like this, and CJ talked about it, the only way to actually take some of it is to have an action step, is to put something in place to work on today, this week. Otherwise, it's in one ear, out the other ear. It's a good idea. Seems great. We have all the information, but if we're not setting up ourselves for success by writing it down and personalizing it to ourselves, then nothing's going to happen. I'm not going to take anything away from this, so that's why it's important to write down. So yeah, write those down. I'm not going to make you talk about your priorities right now, or at all. Have them there, and I'm curious to see for yourself whether anything changes throughout this talk, whether you feel like you should shift your priorities, or maybe you're realizing that you say that those are your priorities, but that's not where you're putting your attention, and I'll speak to that as well. But today I want to talk about why prioritizing yourself should be more important than putting everyone else first, even your family. Because if you're not prioritizing yourself, it's going to be really hard to take care of them. But if you are prioritizing yourself, you're still going to get to take care of them even better than before. So I'll touch on that. I want to give you a story that speaks to this. I just started working with a friend of mine, lives in Arizona, so we get on the phone, we talk for hours at a time, and I've only known him for like 6 months. Great guy. But as I'm talking to him, I'm learning his background, where his priorities lie. And so he grew up with a dad who was a principal, and his family always on the go. Dad being a principal, you got 12-hour days at school, maybe 6 days a week. This guy would volunteer for every single event, every single opportunity he'd have to help someone out, he'd take it. He'd always put everyone else's needs ahead of his own, and even the needs of people at his school in front of his family. And so he grows up seeing this and thinks it's a good thing. He admires his dad for it. He thinks if you are a good person, you always put everyone else's needs before your own. Makes sense. And so he grows up thinking this, having this mentality. His parents want to send him to boarding school to also push him in the direction of being a teacher. He did not want to go to boarding school at all. But in keeping in line with what he believed and what he grew up believing, he said, it's not what I want, doesn't matter, it's just what other people want. So he listened to his parents, respected them, went to school. It's a boarding school to try to make you a teacher. So he ends up going through this school, goes to college, becomes a teacher, and gets to his first school, and then he starts doing the exact same thing as his dad. This is who he is. So he volunteers for every single event. He's part of 2 different clubs. He's taking care of the kids, taking care of everyone else's needs and ahead of his own. And he makes it about 4 years, a couple different schools, before he completely drops off, burns out, hates his job, hates his life, quits. And this is where we kind of met. Now he has, with talking to him, he has depression, self-hatred. So not only is he hating all the external things, but he's hating himself at the same time. He has total doubt that he can do anything for himself because he never has. One specific conversation comes to mind. It was very recent. We're on the phone, talking for a long time, and you can hear it in his voice. And everything he says, you can hear the belief that he has about himself coming out. And so he says, no, there's no way. I can't be successful because success is only for people who are lucky. They just had it given to him. It's skewed, and it's not right, but that's what he believes. And the self-doubt and the self-hatred is coming out as well. I talk to him, and he says, I don't deserve that. I can't get that. That's impossible for me to do that. You're stupid for thinking that. Because I've never had those things. I've never wanted those things. I shouldn't have those things. Because he's always put himself last. And then finally, towards the end of the conversation, there's a long pause, and he says, Amos, I've been having thoughts about suicide. Which sucks to hear. So how do you help someone start caring for themselves or showing them that they're worth it, telling them that they're worth it when they've never believed that they were worth it? They've never given themselves anything and think it's impossible for them even if they tried. How do you do that? You show them. You have to show them how to do it, show them why it's important, and then what I get to do as well is give them support and accountability. You need all those pieces, but you have to show them. It has to come from him. It can't come from me. It can't come from a talk like this. So, speaking on that, what I get to do today is show you, as best as I can, in a structure like this, and with you writing down what you're thinking and feeling, I get to show you how to start prioritizing yourself and why it's so important, and how this can help you take care of the people around you even better. So over the next 40 minutes, I'm going to show you how to let other people's thoughts and feelings motivate you instead of holding you back. We have a couple different exercises. One, to figure out why this is so important, what it looks like, who would be impacted, which area of your life you can start focusing on right now because it's lacking attention. And we're going to shine light on it for yours specifically, not mine, not from an example. And then how to get into action and shift that mindset so you're opened up to so much more for yourself and for your family. So that's what we get to do today. Before I get into that, Kelly, could you come up here with me? I know, Kelly.
Okay.
Could you please demonstrate a handstand for everyone?
No.
What do you think everyone would think if you demonstrated a handstand? Or tried to?
Try is the word. I don't know.
What do you think I'd be thinking?
Go for it.
And then what do you think they would think, or what do you think they would be thinking if you tried it and maybe couldn't do it perfectly? Maybe, how would you feel? How would you feel with everyone looking at you, even the live people watching you do that?
Oh, that doesn't bother me.
Doesn't?
Mm-mm.
Wow, that's where you want to get. How would you feel? How would you feel if you came up here and tried to do a handstand in front of everyone? What do you think everyone would be thinking? Or what would you be afraid of?
Everyone would laugh. They'd be thinking, yeah, right.
That's okay, because it'd be funny.
It'd be embarrassing.
Yeah, embarrassing. Maybe you'd feel embarrassed. Maybe not everyone would. Kelly, you can sit down, thank you. That's awesome. Thank you for that. It's awesome that you didn't feel embarrassed, but a lot of us do feel embarrassed. And so the point I'm proving is, do our beliefs or other people's thoughts and feelings affect our actions? Affect what we think we can do? Yeah, absolutely. So if I were to, assume that I knew what you were all thinking, maybe you're looking at me here, and what are you thinking? If I let my mind run free, you might be thinking, oh, isn't he kind of young to be talking about this stuff? What the heck can a young guy teach me about life? Or he doesn't know what's going on in a woman's mind, he's a guy. All right? So if I let myself think these thoughts, then why would I have the courage to come up here and talk to you? That would stop me from coming up here and providing value that I think everyone can find useful. Okay. So then it is true then that we change our actions based on what other people are thinking or what we feel they're thinking. We agree on that. Now, I don't want to change this. It's awesome that you feel that way. That's fantastic, and it's good to get to that point. But that's not possible for everyone, and that's okay. I don't want to change that. I want to use that same method in our brain, that same mentality of other people's thoughts and feelings affecting our actions, but change it from being a dysfunctional tool that holds us back, that makes us not go to that gym because we think we're going to be embarrassed, think people are going to laugh at us, that makes us not come up and speak to people so we can get better at it and also provide value. I want it to be a functional tool that actually motivates you and pushes you to go out of your comfort zone, to do more things for yourself, okay? So it should be easy because we get to use the same process. Now, how do we do that? I'm going to tell you with another story. So I used to be the manager at 9 Round Kickboxing Club, and I used to have a conversation over and over and over again with people. This is how we're going to figure out how this ties together. Okay, so let me take you there. We're at the gym, bags are popping, people are kicking, and there's 8 people in the gym, sweating, working hard, doing burpees. We love it. I'm training them. And maybe there's a couple people in there that are trying to get back into it after the holiday season. They keep falling off, but hopefully they can stick to it. And then someone new walks in. So I run over. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to 9 Round. My name is Amos. Who are you? I'm Rachel. Hello, Rachel. Have you ever done kickboxing before? No. Have you ever been to 9 Round? No, obviously. Okay. Well, really, thank you for coming in. What do you usually do for working out? Treadmill sometimes, elliptical. I haven't really been able to stick to it. Okay, now this is the important part. That's the frou-frou. The important part. Rachel, What kind of goals are you looking to achieve for yourself? I want to be healthier and feel better, I guess. So how many of you think that Rachel is going to be consistent with exercising if she signs up? Yeah, almost 100% no. Because that's not enough. That doesn't mean anything. So we have to figure out what that is. Rachel, if you did feel healthier and better, now what would that look like? What would that do for you? I'd be more confident, energetic, I suppose. Okay, great. If you were confident and energetic, what's important about that? Well, I'd play with my kids more. I'd want to go out with friends and hang out with them. I'd have more energy to talk to my husband when I get home. And I'd enjoy my work more. What would be the best part of that, Rachel? My relationship would start getting better with my husband instead of being rocky. My kids would look up to me and be healthier. My friends would want to be around me. And my employer would be happy because I'd actually want to come to work. Okay. Now that's awesome. I'm going to say that one more time without the middle section and without the first section, just so you can hear it again. So, Rachel, what kind of goals are you looking to achieve for yourself? I want to be more confident and energetic so that I can take care of my kids better, I can talk to my husband more, I can go out with friends more, and I can enjoy work. And this will cause my kids to look up to me more. They'll be healthier, I'll be taking care of them, my friends will want to be around me, and my relationship will get better, my employer will like me, maybe I'll get a promotion. So in this situation, what would Rachel's kids, Rachel's employer, Rachel's friends, and Rachel's husband be thinking about her because she's prioritizing herself in this way, making time for exercise? They'd be happy. They'd be benefiting from it. They would want her to do more. They would support her. And so in that specific situation, oftentimes we might be telling ourselves, well, I got to take care of them. I got to take them to 3 sports clubs, and I got to do all the chores at this time, and there's no time. There's no time for me. That's okay. You're missing out. Now, this is the second part of the handout. We're going to apply this to you. This is an example. This is Rachel. Fictitious or not, that's not you. So this has to mean something to you. You have to apply it to yourself right now. So you have some questions on there. I'll pull mine out. And you can just look at the questions. So what would happen to your relationships with friends and family if you were emotionally and physically fit and energetic? Thank you in advance for writing this down. It will be much more beneficial if you do. And go at your own pace. Second question, what would work be like if you were energetic and happy, your body felt great, and your relationships were getting attention? If you have a partner, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, what would that be like? How would the intimacy change your relationship? And once you get to that final question, this is what I want to draw out of this section is, what would the people in your life actually be thinking or feeling towards you if you were to prioritize yourself? Whether that's your health, your career, relationships. So now we're not just imagining and letting our beliefs create the thoughts of what other people are thinking towards us. We're actually logically writing it down, what would realistically be happening, what they realistically would be thinking or feeling towards you. So we can start breaking through some of those beliefs and things that we tell ourselves. I want 2 examples from you guys, from people who are done with it. What did you have for that last part, that last question? Yes, Kels?
They would be proud of me.
Proud of me. I like that.
Possible, more than likely, probable admiration.
Admiration, proud. Any other words that come up?
Kind of like what CJ said earlier, how, you know, you actually did what you said you were going to do. So like you just like, wow, man, you really did. You know what I mean?
Impressed.
You talked about that, all those times we sat and we talked all that vision and you never took any action, you finally took action and actually made it happen.
How would that make them feel? How would they feel?
I feel empowered that they can do the same thing, that they can get over the obstacles and do the same thing.
Yes, awesome. They would be empowered. They'd be proud and admire you, and they would be empowered to do more. That's pretty cool. You're affecting them in that way. Thank you for those examples. Appreciate that. So now I want to give you another example from someone in the room, actually. Miss Erica Ahrens. How many of you know Erica? Quite a few. She is a superstar. She is fantastic. And we are proud of her. Tons of people are proud of her. Tons of people admire her. And tons of people are now empowered by her because of her transformation story. So I'm going to read a quote. She let me ask her some questions so I could use this as an example. So I got to ask her, how did you usually feel day to day when you weren't prioritizing yourself? That's what she said. I was exhausted. I wasn't happy. I reacted to most things in a negative way. I didn't want to spend time with people. I was not confident in myself, my actions, or my life direction. I had lower back pain almost every morning. I had knee and hip pain. Every day was painful. I put everyone else's needs ahead of my needs. I always agreed to help or get some task done instead of paying attention to myself. I sometimes avoided things due to being so tired, and I spent a lot of time sitting on the couch. Even hanging with my family, I found myself asking my nephews or my niece to get up and do things for me so I wouldn't have to. I dealt with life through eating and drinking. And thinking back, I don't think I was truly enjoying my life. I was just going through the motions. Has anyone else felt that way? Some way or another, yes. Absolutely, we all do. Thank you for letting me read that. I did ask her. Now, I asked her the same question after she started prioritizing herself. And this is what she said. I walk into a room with my shoulders back and my head held high. I have spent the last 14 and a half months focusing on my physical, mental, and emotional health. I am much more confident and proud of who I am. I am much more positive, and people want to be around me. I have a lot more energy. I look forward to getting up every single morning. I enjoy going to work, and I've improved at it. I'm not pushing tasks off to others. I am much happier and gracious with patients and staff. My patients have definitely taken notice, and they even ask for help from me on what they can do to make small changes in their lives. I'm excited to do things again with friends. I don't have time to sit around anymore. I'm not as annoyed to help my family. I like that one. Still annoyed, but not as annoyed. I am much more active with my nephews and niece, and more present with my friends and family. There is altogether a lot more laughter and lightheartedness that definitely was missing. Thank you for letting me use that. That's very powerful. And she didn't set out, this is just one cool point, she didn't set out to inspire other people. She was doing this for herself. And what she's realizing through this is that her patients are asking her, how did you do that? Help me. She's empowering other people. Other people are proud and admiring her because of it. She's creating this sphere of influence, and her friends want to be around her. People congregate to those positive people, as CJ was saying. And you should. Absolutely should. So the example I gave, Erica started focusing definitely on emotional health, but it started with physical fitness, nutrition. Absolutely, you're zoning in on that area. That was her area that she wanted to give more attention to, and started in that specific spot. But you can't separate health and life. They're one and the same. If you're not healthy in your relationships, if you're not healthy with your food and fitness for sure, but if you're not healthy with your career, with your social time, with your self-care, with your spiritual relationship, then every area is affected. Something is going to get notched down if one area is not getting attention, or everything will. Okay? So next exercise, Wheel of Life. One of my absolute favorite ones is how we can pinpoint one area that you should start working on right now because it's not getting attention. And again, for Erica, it was fitness and nutrition specifically at the beginning, but for you it might be different. So this is how we figure it out and apply it to your life right now so you can walk out of the door and know. So the way to do this, there's different categories, and on each line you're going to put a dot. A dot further towards the middle means you're not satisfied with it. It's not getting attention. A dot further to the outside, the opposite of course, you're satisfied with it, you are giving it attention, you're happy with it. So go ahead and take a minute or two. Take your time. This is something you can do every month, and it'll be helpful. Maybe you'll be surprised by what shows up. Maybe you know that that's the area, and you always have. And once you're done with the dots, go ahead and connect them so it's really clear where the highs and lows are. Once you've got them all connected, that's your wheel. And obviously you want a wheel to be round for everything to function smoothly. Imagine, just for a second, just for fun, imagine your wheel on a car and what would happen. Probably destroy that car in a day.
So what?
Okay. Now we can start going through those questions. So like CJ said, you got to start in one spot. One small action, one area. Don't try to overwhelm yourself by thinking of 10 years down the road or trying to fix everything. Pick that one area or two areas. You can do two. Pick that one area that's the lowest on your wheel and write it down. And the first question is, who would be impacted if you were to take care of yourself in all the different areas, but especially that one that's not getting attention? First you write who. And then I want you to write how they would be impacted. Be specific. The more specific you are with writing goals, answering questions like this, more reason you have to follow through. Before we do that last question, is there anyone that was surprised by what they saw? Nope. Y'all knew what was going on? Awesome. And then last question. Now this is the most important part. Let's create an action step together. Empower yourself. If you've already known that this area was low for you, you've definitely thought about it. You probably thought about things that you could have done. What's one thing that would be the most beneficial for you this following week that you could put into action right now? And that so if we were to meet again in a week, you'd be like, yep, that one action was really helpful. I'm happy I did that. That's what you want to write down. We don't need the complicated answer, yeah? Yes?
For my example, my low point is social life, and what I like to do is make an action step that usually it's beginning of every month. I text a bunch of friends and say, hey, let's hang out. And then another low point on mine is home cooking. So this month I want to ask them over for dinner at my house, because then I can work on another spoke of the wheel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, good example.
So, or like if physical activities like you go to the gym.
Awesome. It's also fun to be creative. Be creative. Make it simple. Make it doable. Put a timeline on it. We're doing this week. I'm going to feel great because I did this one thing. And I'm starting to bump that area out. Now, one cool thing that you'll find out with doing this and being aware of it is that once you take that action on that one area and start bumping that out, what do you think is going to happen to the other areas on the wheel? Maybe not all of them. It'll start pumping that tire up. Every little action you do affects another area. That's why health and life are connected. They're all spokes. So in Kelsey's example, she starts cooking a meal, inviting friends over, her social life goes up. What are the other ones on there? She's going to have to be creative because she's going to have to pick a meal. She's going to have to host them. She's going to have more joy. Her relationships are going to pop up. Home environment's going to go up because you're cleaning the house. You got friends over. Hopefully you're not inviting them into a pigsty. If you're cooking more meals and you're getting better at it, your health's probably going to go up unless you're making nachos every single night, but you're going to save money. That's a common belief. You save more money if you go to fast food, but groceries are cheap. You're going to educate yourself on more food options. You're going to educate yourself about your body, what tastes good to you. Career, maybe no. Finances, touched on that. So basically every single thing on there. Maybe you have a devotion with them after too. Tie spirituality in there. Get closer in that way. Have real conversation, not shallow conversation. That's awesome. Your tire's pumping up from that one small action. And we'll touch on appreciation a little bit more, but once you have that one small action, you have momentum, you feel good, you feel motivated, you feel happy. You're on the right track. So does everyone have an action step? I don't want to move forward unless everyone has an action step. Just take one more. 30 seconds. Okay, so with what we've been talking about, we've touched on, why this is so important to you specifically, not to me, not to Rachel, my example. Why this is important to you. We've talked about what area you can start focusing on right now that you know needed attention. All of you knew it needed attention. Why, what. You have one action step, that's one of the hows. what to do, how we're going to do it. You have to be creative with the how. If you do need help making a more powerful action step, please reach out to me or CJ. We can help you with that. So it should be easy to follow through, right? Still not. Still not easy to follow through. Why? Why is that? Like CJ said, it's simple. All I have to do is eat good food. If you know what good food is. All I have to do is exercise consistently. Okay? All I have to do is talk to my wife when I go home, instead of going straight to sleep. All I have to do is set my sleep schedule and wake up early in the morning, so I'm productive. Be consistent. It seems simple when we say it, but it's still hard. Why can't we follow through? So I want to ask you a question to figure this out with you. Would you rather do something with more positives or less positives? More positives. Almost 100%, absolutely. Would you rather do something that's more pleasurable or less pleasurable? More pleasurable, more satisfying, absolutely. So, if that holds true, isn't it more positive to work out and to eat healthy food? And to be with kids and talk to our family? If the answer is yes, then why haven't you done it? This is where mindset comes in. Mindset and beliefs that are holding us back. You can get rid of obstacles, and then at the end of all these obstacles that you pushed out of the way, there's a brick wall. That's your belief. That's hard to change. You can't run through a brick wall. You start climbing over it, there's barbed wire. You start trying to go around, Great Wall of China. What do? You got to break it. You got to rebuild it you got to rebuild a doorway in there. Okay, that's rebuilding a belief, changing that mindset. So I have a specific example from a client that I worked with. She came to me wanting to have change. That's what she said. She saw the positives of focusing on herself and her health. She wanted to lose weight, lose a lot of weight. She wanted to feel confident. She wanted to stop faking it, because when she looked in the mirror, there was hatred, there was depression. So it seemed good to change. So we're going to start working together. And she's understanding the material. I'm giving her action steps. We're creating them together. We're getting rid of those challenges. And then, boom. We're hitting a brick wall. She sort of does the action steps during the week. Sort of tries. Holds herself back. Said, why is this so difficult? I ask her. I don't know. A lot of I don't knows. You got to draw that out. So we draw it out, and here's what I found out. She'd lost weight before. She did a program maybe 5 years ago. Lost a lot of weight. You know, one of those ones where you're doing everything really consistently. You got your shakes, you got your bars. That's all you're doing. You're focused. Maybe did it for 3 months. Lost a ton of weight. Lost like 50 pounds. Felt good. Then her dad dies. Right back to where she was. Gained all of it back. Felt terrible. Felt depressed. Wanted to be comforted. Wanted to be satisfied. Found pleasure in food because the relationship wasn't super close. 3 years after that, she tries another program. Programs work, but this is the problem we run into. Mindset, beliefs. She loses the weight again. Starts feeling good. And her mom gets cancer. What the heck? Why does this happen every time I start prioritizing myself and losing weight? Gained all the way back. Back to her comfort zone. At this point, she's building up a strong brick wall. Because her belief is, if I lose weight, something bad is going to happen. You can't get around that. That's more negative than it is to stay where she is and have that self-hatred and depression. She would rather take that upon herself, the self-hatred and depression. Since she was 16, she hasn't looked the way she wanted to. She's 45. She'd rather have that because that's less negative than someone in her family dying. That's traumatizing. Okay, so that's what she's telling herself. There's no way we can get through that until we look at it, we create a new belief that makes sense, that's real. Okay, how do you do that? I just want to give you one tool today. I didn't put it down on the sheet, but you can write it on the back if you want. It's called the both and more method. There's a lot of different ways to change a belief. It's difficult. Some people can do it by themselves, but you got to have the right tools. You got to have the right support and accountability sometimes. The both and more method specifically is if you find yourself saying either or to yourself or about a situation, you're setting that in stone. You're saying 100% it's either or. Once you tell yourself a fact like that, you make it a fact, you can't change it. And so, for her example, I can either be healthy, lose weight, feel more confident, feel actual joy, or someone in my family, well, one second, and someone will die, or something terrible will happen. So I can either have that, or I can stay where I am, and nothing bad's going to happen. I'm staying in my comfort zone. So that was the belief that she had, set in stone, brick wall, fact. Change the wording. Force yourself to. I can both be healthy, eat good food, be happy, be confident, energetic. And if something bad does happen, play along. If something bad does happen, like your mom dies, you will be more capable of handling that situation, taking care of your daughter who's going to be in mourning, and your husband, providing for them, and bouncing back even faster. That's the new belief that I wanted her to start saying to herself. Because when you make yourself say something like that, you try to make it happen. And you had to write it down. Thinking it is one thing, you write it down, becomes more real to you. You say it 100 times to yourself, becomes more real to you. You can't just think it. It's hard. It takes time to change a belief. Another example, this is just a common one, a simpler one. I can either eat healthy food that doesn't taste so good, or I can eat unhealthy food very often because it makes me feel awesome and pleasurable. I have the pleasure, tastes awesome. You don't feel great after, but that's a belief. Change it. I can both eat healthy food that tastes good, and I can have more energy and confidence and success because of it. Healthy food can taste good too. And then a final one, and this is the most important point I'm making today, is maybe you're telling yourself, I can either prioritize myself and my needs, or I can put other people's needs first and take care of them. There's no middle ground. Take care of myself or put everyone else first, everyone else's needs first. Change it, both and more. I can both take care of myself and take care of everyone else even better. Because I have more joy, more energy, more confidence. We can do both. The more we prioritize ourselves, the more your wheel pops up, the more energy and joy you have in taking care of the people around you. So if you're unhappy and unfulfilled and have self-hatred or anything along those lines, won't it be harder to take care of the people you love? Switch it around. If you're healthy, you're taking care of yourself, you're fulfilled, you're proud, you have energy, won't it be easier to take care of the people you love? Won't you enjoy it more? Won't you do more with them? That's really what I wanted to instill in you today, give you tools. Now, following through, again, is still really hard. There's two important pieces that you need to have, and sometimes you can give this to yourself, but it's support and accountability. We have all the information. We know what to do. We know which area on our wheel has been ignored for 1 month, to 3 years, to 10 years. But you need support and accountability to actually make it happen. Okay? So if you're looking for somewhere, this is an awesome place. CJ is a wonderful person, and I definitely reciprocate meeting him, working with him, knowing him. You want to have that person around. He's that positive influence. And I pray this stuff is useful, but if you ever need another resource, definitely use me as well. That's what that last handout is. It says connect on the top. If you have any questions that came up, just one specific question that came up that you want to ask, I can get back to you on that. Your biggest challenge, your biggest problem, that's as much as for me as it is for you, just to be clear about it so you know what you need to start working on. And then at the bottom, there's two things that I'd love to offer you. The first one is 5 more of those wheel exercises for each specific area so you can really zone in. And they're listed on the bottom. Those are huge. Honestly, you can do those every single month, and it'll change your life. I could put the wheel of life on there too. That's a good one. And then the first one, that was the second one. The first one is a one-on-one free 45-minute clarity call with me where if you ever need to talk through something, absolutely use it for that. If you want to find out what you want to have happen in your life, what that looks like, how it feels, why it's important to you, what are the biggest challenges that's coming up and blocking you from getting there, and then a good plan of action to break through that, definitely check that box. I'm going to make you do it again. Just, CJ made you do it already. I want you to appreciate yourself. Because the more you appreciate yourself, this is the final exercise we're going to do together. You don't have to write anything down. When you appreciate yourself, that is stacking success. All the small steps that you do make one massive leap. You don't leap, you take small steps, and it becomes that big step, that big goal. But if you're always looking to the future, you're never getting your reward. We're like kids. We need easy rewards. And so appreciating yourself, making that clear, that's rewarding yourself. So I'm going to take some examples, but don't feel weird. I've already talked about feeling embarrassed, and that is a fear that we put in our head, but I want all of you, no one excluded, to say I appreciate myself out loud.
I appreciate myself.
Thank you. And you might not know it, but that's really hard for some people in this room to say that. And they might not even mean it. That's something they need to work on. It's hard to even say it out loud because it becomes more real when you say it. It becomes more real when you write it down. That's why we wrote stuff down. That's why we're saying it out loud. Keep telling yourself you appreciate yourself. And then give yourself reasons why. Little things. Now I need just a few examples. CJ, what's something you appreciate yourself for?
Everyone appreciates that.
What's something you did to have that energy?
I think it was a realization that if kind of like you said, if I don't have it for myself, how can I give it to others? So finally realizing that if I can have it for myself, I have nothing to give out to others.
Okay, having that clarity of knowing why he needs energy and going for it. And then actually getting it. Awesome appreciation. Anyone else? I'm going to make a couple more do it. No, so with appreciation, let me help.
Okay.
No, it doesn't matter how big, how small. It can be an effort that you did. It can be a way you reacted to a situation. It could be a way you interacted with someone else.
I would say maybe positivity.
I try to, no matter how other people are acting or no matter what's going on, I try to find at least one positive thing out of every situation that happens during the day.
Wonderful. Do you have a specific example?
I work at an after-school program, and so sometimes things happen where like we lose space or there's things going on with staff or kids, and I try to remember that, like, especially with the kids that have behavioral issues, I try to remember like they need someone to love them. So if no matter how frustrating it might be to me or to one of my staff members, like making sure that we're helping that student so that they can get better too.
Beautiful. Awesome appreciation. And yeah, you're allowed to say, I appreciate myself for that. I did a good job. That's powerful. It's never about should've, could've, would've. I could do it better. Next time I'll do it this way. Where did you do well? Appreciate it. One more. Yeah.
I'd say I appreciate my motivation. Like 8 years ago, I used to be over 300 pounds. So I lost that weight, and now, the weight being off, that's something I really noticed in myself within, I'd say, the last 5 years is the motivation. Within my career, within my family, do the extra stuff. I quit, like CJ, I quit drinking back in 2014, so that's one of the biggest hurdles I've overcome. Then just setting the goals after that. I can attest everything that these guys are saying. I believe in, I've done and seen throughout the 8 years. Writing the stuff down and setting goals. And, it's true. If you just the little steps throughout every single day add up over 8 years.
Awesome.
It's true.
Can we take a quick second to recognize a fact here? Right now, we're all sitting in this room. Nobody knew that about Luke. You could sit there looking at Luke and think, oh, I sound like that guy. I want to be cut like that guy. And then all of a sudden, nowhere, he throws out 8 years ago, he's 300 pounds. And you never know what someone else went through. And so take that and realize where you're at today does not have anything to do with where you'll be 1, 2, 3 years down the road. If you want something bad enough, you can make it happen.
Or tomorrow, or that.
Right.
Change your life tomorrow.
Like writing stuff down, I do it all the time. This is my notepad I brought with, but goals, things I gotta do, it pops in my head, I write it down. I've slowly done that over the 8 years, and one of the big things for me is why I work out, so much throughout the year is I decided 3 years ago I want to do elk hunting out in Colorado. So I go out for 7 to 10 days out in the backcountry in the mountains, we put one down, we're carrying 100 pounds on our back, going thousands of feet in elevation. So, it's just different goals. Instead of drinking at the bar, I decided to put my money into hunting or fishing and eating clean and all. It all does come together. So now that I'm not drinking on weekends, I'm hunting. So now I kill and catch my own food to try to eat clean instead of eating that garbage that's, the hormones pumped full of chickens or, fast foods. Now I can kill my own game, process it, and feed it to my family. Like you said, weird stuff like that. You gotta be weird a little bit to move on. So it's stuff like that, it's fun.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. We're having mountain climbing tonight.
I heard that's good. I heard it's good. Let's film.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And 2 things based off what he's saying. Maybe you didn't know that about him. So who's going to appreciate him unless he appreciates himself? He's not going to walk around saying, hey, guess what? I don't know you, but I just lost 50 pounds. Appreciate me. What's up? So you got to appreciate yourself. No one knows what you're going through besides you. Even if you tell them a lot, that's not all of it. So that's one thing. And then the second thing, if you know Jim Gaffigan, he's a comedian, and one skit that he does that sticks with me, and it came up now, is he
He's talking about muscle heads that are in the gym, people that are fit. He's like, why are you here? Go home. You're done. You got it. You made it. There's no finish line to health. He's still doing the same thing he did 8 years ago. He's writing down goals every single day. You know, we might look at him and say, he made it. He's done. Stop trying. Stop looking to be better. But why not? So, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I want to finish out with the rest of Erica's story. Really cool quote from her. So I started this journey because I wanted to survive Disney. I wanted to be able to be fit on a plane again without the seatbelt extender. However, somewhere along the journey, things changed. My relationship with food has changed. I don't see food as a comfort or a means for emotional comfort. It truly is fuel. I stopped craving crappy food and started to crave healthy food. I honestly gave myself only 3 months. I started this journey with the thought that I was going to fail. It's a belief. That's how much faith I had in the process. But I lost 50 pounds in the first 2 months, and I decided that maybe I was worth it. Belief started to change. It hasn't been easy. It might seem simple. There have been rough days where I was sore and wanted to be like everyone else and eat whatever, and days where I just didn't think I could stomach another bite of a vegetable. But when I compare my before pictures to my current pictures, I realize that I am worth it. I deserve to be healthier, happier, and an overall better person. Taking back control of my weight has become so much more than a number on a scale, more than the size of my clothes or the inches that I have lost. It was about getting my life back. There's a little bit more, but I'm not up here showing you pictures. That's fantastic. I'm not up here telling you numbers. That's fantastic. But that's not what you get out of it. That's a side benefit. What do you get? My first aha moment was when the seatbelt clicked in September. I was in the emergency row, and the seatbelt did click. I teared up after they shut the lights off. Most importantly, I survived Disney. I conquered Disney. I rode every ride I wanted to with room to spare in the safety bars. I walked miles a day without pain. I went to both of my gyms on vacation without hesitation or a second thought. I was present, joyful, and excited to make such amazing memories with my family. Thank you again for letting me share that. It's beautiful. Last thing I want you to do, just take 30 seconds to picture yourself 1 year down the road, 6 months down the road, as CJ said, with prioritizing yourself being on the forefront of your mind, at the forefront of your day and week and month and how you act. What does that look like? Actually picture it for 30 seconds, just silently for 30 seconds, and I'm done with that. So do it. Picture it, 30 seconds, that's it. Helps to close your eyes. Thank you so much for listening to both of us. I really hope this was useful to you, and you can take this information and put it to use right now. If you want to just leave, if you did fill this out at all, you can just leave it on the floor and I'll pick it up. So.
All right, guys, that was awesome. Like I said, before we leave, I want you guys to have permission to be awkward, and I would love if you could get to know one person that you didn't know that you came here with. The reason being is I really think it helps. You guys are all, like Amos talked about appreciation. Number one, appreciate yourselves for being here. Like, you guys took action and came through the door. So here's the cool thing. All of you guys are action takers. Now, what if you could be surrounded by action takers when you leave here? Well, you have the ability to do that now by getting to know one person. So I asked to get to know one person that you didn't know when you came here. And that'll help create that sphere, that contact sphere that's going to help hold you guys accountable to reaching the goals that you desire. Thanks, guys. Dude, that was awesome.
Mine turned on.
Did it? Oh, bummer. Mine is just said low battery. Hey, thanks, guys. Have a great day.